And now for our final session of the day, we look at the rise of Indian innovation. As Asia emerges as a global sports hub, innovation and investment are transforming the sports economy. From India's sports tech and data advances to the UAE's infrastructure growth, this panel explores new models for audience engagement, talent development, and economic impact. I'm joined by Jain, co-founder and CEO of Dream Sports, and Dr. Vijay Chauthaiwale, in charge Foreign Affairs Department, BJP. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you. Hello. Harsh, you have something to share with us to start.
Sure. I think there's a presentation.
Is there a presentation? Yes. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. So I thought I'll do a quick chat first to start off about India and sports. A quick brief background. My name is Jain. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Dream Sports and Dream 11. We run a sports company in India with over 250 million users. And this is a little bit about the rise of India as a sporting nation. This is happening today because we have a lot of entrepreneurs coming back from studying abroad or getting educated in India, but working in the sports industry. We have a lot of entrepreneurship that is helping to create a public-private partnership and push the envelope forward for sports in India. So taking a leaf out of the book that is US sports, I think US sports is the most mature sports market in the world. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how big that is. Now, if you look at sports content, sports commerce, sports gaming, sports betting, sports data, sports analysis, sports experiences, leagues and teams, everything. Just a few of them are here. But you can see on this slide that a lot of names you'll recognize. The US has multiple multi-billion-dollar companies in almost every single sub-vertical in sports. This is where I'm hoping that India will get to soon. And I wanted to talk a little bit about where India is today and how we'll get there. I'm sure most of you have seen a bunch of these names, but the US sports market is really the culmination of 10 or 20 different sub-verticals, all working with each other, all feeding off each other and building up each other to build a much larger sports market in the US. Today, we have India. Now, India, as most of you know, is a country that's where they say cricket is a religion, right? And that's because we're dominated by cricket in India. The India sports story has been, for the better part of the last couple of decades, all about cricket. But we've really done that well. As you know, recently we are the world champions in cricket. And that's been because of the fact that we have businesses that have been built over the last couple of decades with the leagues and the teams and the government in building up cricket. Now we have content which has Cricinfo, CricBuzz as examples, which have 100 million monthly active users. We have leagues, which is like the Indian Premier League, which auction is going on actually in Jeddah, not far away from here right now. And players are being auctioned for millions of dollars to play for a couple of months a year. That's amazing, and it changes the lives of so many Indian athletes, both present and aspiring. We also have, interestingly, like the Indian Super League for football, the Pro Kabaddi League for Kabaddi, which also are getting hundreds of millions of viewers. And very happily, I'm proud to say that even the Indian women's cricket with Women's Premier League has now crossed over 100 million viewers. It's very important for our nation to have more depth in cricket, but also breadth in sports, as well as gender equality. Apart from that, the teams, each one of these IPL teams that started out about 17 years ago are now worth over $1 billion. And that's just the start. We have the media companies that have been streaming and broadcasting these sports channels and sports events. And it's staggering to believe that almost 100 million Indians pay for sports content today. This is something that nobody thought was possible, but it's happened. Because when you give good quality, people will pay for it. And yours truly, we have Dream 11, which has about 250 million Indians on its app, which allows for fantasy sports, for people to make their teams. And just like I said about Jeddah right now, lets people feel like an IPL team owner and make your own team and be a part of the game, change from a passive fan to an active fan. Finally, we have the real sport as well, which is with the grassroots and Indian companies. This is one of the best examples of private-public partnership, where led by the government's top scheme and Khelo India, we have many large conglomerates like Reliance and Jindal, which are putting in serious amounts of work, but also money behind getting more of our Indian athletes to represent India at the global stage and win Olympic medals for us. All of this is going on, but dominated by cricket. I just wanted to talk a little bit about all the other industries in India across sports. We have, like I said, in the US, commerce, content. We have even esports. We have the leagues and the teams. We have sports data and fan engagement. Now, Dream Sports has taken a stab at a bunch of these. And after the success of Dream 11, we've been fortunate enough to be able to fund a lot of portfolio companies and startups to work on solving some of these problems. We have FC Shop, which does sports apparel, content, commerce. We have FanCode, which does sports content, which allows for Indian viewers to watch F1, kabaddi, basketball, hockey, every other sport, and the long tail of cricket in India. We also have a sports foundation which supports thousands of athletes in an attempt to build up the grassroots sports in India and invest in our young athletes to go and win for India in the Olympics over a long run. We believe a lot in long-term athlete development. We also have in fan engagement Dream Cricket, which is a AAA mobile cricket game. And I'm sure a lot of you all have heard about FIFA and for Madden, in the US, for NFL, you have MLB has their game, NBA 2K is there, but we don't have a really great AAA cricket mobile game. That's what we're trying to solve with Dream Cricket. And we have Sixer, which is a platform for sports engagement again. In fact, there's so many other industries here. I haven't had a chance to mention a bunch of them, but we also have Dream Set Go, which gets sports travel and experiences. So we have thousands and thousands of Indians that want to travel for sports events and experiences, and Dream Set Go allows you to do that. Now, while I'm here talking about our portfolio companies, this slide is not about that. This slide is about India. And what I wanted to show was that that's the rest of the top 10% of companies working on these solutions. Now, there are more names than I can count here, but that's the point. Indian entrepreneurs are now working on solving every aspect of sports in India. And you have large companies, mid-sized companies, startups, all jumping into the fray. There are probably 90% other companies that I haven't mentioned here, and that's how many companies there are in India with entrepreneurship solving for sports. This is going to lead to India finally getting this virtuous cycle of sports going, where you have many leagues worth billions of dollars, creating lots of teams that are sold to private companies and private citizens who love to buy these teams and grow them. They then invest in sports infrastructure and at a grassroots level because they want to win. So they want the best youth talent, they want to catch them early, they want to train them, they want them in their team, and that gives rise to the best athletes in India. Now, with teams and leagues, you obviously get fans. And that's how you get hundreds of millions of sports fans that grow up with these leagues and teams. And today you have the new age of sports fans that are actually so passionate about a Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings that they'll actually go out and, even boo, unfortunately, sometimes the captain of our team, of our Indian cricket team. But apart from that, those are all fun and jokes. Of course, there's the captain of our Indian cricket team and we love them. But that's just showing you how passionate they are about their local teams. And that's what's going to give rise to fan engagement. And that's where companies like mine come in and help the fans engage with the sports they love and really build commercial means out of these fans and these sports and give back to the teams and leagues where we spend all our money marketing. I'd like to wrap up by saying that the ingredients are now here. We have some success with cricket, amazing success with cricket. We have startups covering every aspect in sports. And now with the PM's vision, our Honorable PM himself has led the way in saying India needs to become a great sports nation. And we have the Indian economy, which I don't need to talk too much because I'm sure you've all heard about how we're going to be the third largest economy in the world in 5 years. And our per capita GDP is just going through the roof. And we have 1 billion sports fans, which is going to lead us to 2036. All of this culminates today. Our next goal is in 12 years from now, hopefully India will host the Olympics in India. And all of this can come together to showcase India's might as a sporting superpower. I, for one, am one of those billion fans that is extremely excited about this potential. And if I was one of the countries that is going to compete with us in 2036, I would just say, please be ready. We're going to bring our A game. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Harsh, you really have transformed the sports landscape in India, and there are myriad entrepreneurs solving for sport in India, which I find fascinating. And Dr. Vijay, what would you say are the key government initiatives that are facilitating entrepreneurial success? And what roles does the continuous evolution of policy play in accommodating these entrepreneurs?
I think on the broad topic of Indian entrepreneurship and also innovation, there is a sea change how the young generation is looking at this in last 10 years. Some are because of the policy changes, some are because of availability of funding, but most of it is because of the encouragement by the government, private sectors and investors to start something on its own rather than serving for someone else. In good old days, having a good job was considered to be a prime goal in the life. And if the job is in the service sector, which was predominant in India, it was still better because you have chances to go abroad, get a green card and settle there. But now the trend has been significantly changed because of the level of innovation and startup ecosystem that has emerged in last 10 years. Availability of funding by the government has made a significant difference in it. First of all, 10 years ago, Prime Minister Modi has launched a very unique initiative called Atal Innovation Mission, named after the late Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which actually started creating an ecosystem of startups, incubators, giving them a seed funding, and as well as exposing them to the potential investors. And that has been a great success. Second part was also there that in the early part of our education system, we didn't impart the value of challenging, which is the key for any innovation. So it was said that whatever has been taught by the teacher, you should accept it as it is, as a kind of gospel. This has changed now a lot. And for example, this Atal Innovation Mission has started a concept of tinkering labs, which essentially is a small lab set up in the schools, mostly the government schools, where all the equipments, the instruments has been provided by the mission, and the school only has to provide a small room. And these equipments were for the robotics kit, for the 3D printing, etc. So the schools in the rural areas also got exposure to this latest technology, and therefore challenge their vision, broaden their vision, and also try to do something with their hands, etc. So new education system, for example, in past, if you are taking biology, then you give up mathematics. and therefore you are cut off completely. There was so much fragmentation and the segmentation of our education system. The new education policy has actually tried to bring the interdisciplinary research, which is the key for any innovation. So there are many such advances in last 10 years, which has raised into having literally hundreds of thousands of startups and more than 30, 35 unicorns coming out of it. One of them is sitting here, my friend from Pharmacy, Siddharth Shah, who came out of IIM Ahmedabad and started something on his own, which is now named as a Pharmacy after a couple of failures, of course. So there are many, many such examples. And I am proud that a new generation is taking the lead into it and trying to become, as Prime Minister Modi says, as a job providers rather than job seekers. So this is a great success story in India.
Dr. Vijay is talking about education and technology and how crucial it is to educate the upcoming generation on how to use technology. And I know that data is the backbone of Dream 11's success. Tell us a little bit about the critical role of advanced analytics in optimizing user experience and driving growth. We know that you have millions of customers and you understand what your customers want.
Yeah, I think sports is something that's inherently loyal, right? Now I'm a Manchester United fan in football. Unfortunately, for the last 15 years, he's smiling because he's a football fan. And he knows that the last 15 years have not been kind. But I will die a Manchester United fan, right? And so the data that we get from our users is very pure. Because when we get data from our users, we know what sport you like, which team you follow, which players you like, which leagues you follow. And we can personalize all of that sport, all of our sports products and services down to the match, down to the minute, to 250 million users. In fact, you know, we think of ourselves as a sports data company so much that even our company's name is Sporta Technologies Private Limited, Sports Data. I think data is going to play a very key role, especially with sports AI now. And the way that machine learning, reinforcement learning, and artificial intelligence are going to shape the lives of our users and our companies is going to be phenomenal. You're going to get highly micro-personalized sports products and services, which were never imaginable before to every individual sports fan.
Dr. Vijay, staying with technology and innovation, how important do you feel it is to foster a culture of innovation in India to compete globally and to sustain economic growth?
I think India has a unique advantage. One is, of course, a demographic advantage. We have a lot of young population. At one side, it is a big strength, but at the same time, it is equally unrealistic to presume that everyone will be given a job in a secure sector. Therefore, entrepreneurship and innovation will become key for the next generation, and it will become key to India's success story and growth of the economy to the next level. And I think that it is not only a responsibility of the government, but also it is a responsibility of investors. And to that extent, availability of risk money is not there as compared to many developed countries, especially US. So we need to develop the culture of venture capital is putting money into something which is very adventurous, to say the least, and at the same time giving them proper direction so that the companies become success. So this is something on which India's success story as an innovation country will depend.
And Harsh, you talked to us about your loyalty to Man United, regardless of their performance over the last decade. How important is it really to build a loyal community of sports enthusiasts such as yourself? And how does their feedback shape your product development and features? You mentioned how you use data to target certain customers in certain ways, but can you elaborate a little bit about new product development, for example?
Sure. Look, I think you can't improve what you can't measure. And so we do try to measure every single usage of our product, every product interaction that users have. In fact, on the data side, we really want to invest heavily on data, and that's something that I believe Indian companies need to learn about doing more R&D. And we've started a Columbia Dream Sports AI Innovation Center in New York with Columbia University. That's the first of its kind, because we really want to invest in sports data in a big way. We have about 7 portfolio companies now, which each of them has the ability to really personalize their products thanks to our data team. So I think that you have to start with data and follow data and end with data. We have a fun saying in our office that, we believe in God, all others must bring data. And so you really have to live that to be able to hyper-personalize every aspect of a user's journey. And in sports, like I said, it's one of the easiest ways to do it, because people don't change sports teams. They don't change which players they like as often.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we have run out of time. Dr. Vijay and Harsh, thank you for highlighting how innovation and investment are really facilitating Asia's emergence as a sports hub. Thanks so much.
Thank you.